Hello and welcome to your mom's favorite channel. And today is going to be a nice, quick, very laid back video, and I'm going to show you what it's like when I cook for myself at home. It's usually quite spontaneous with very little planning involved, and it's usually centered around some ingredients that I might have forgotten about for a while and they're about to go off. So I had a bunch of potatoes and I wanted to try something new, and lately it's been getting a bit colder here, so I realized that I've never had potato soup before. So any normal person would go and look for a recipe, but by now you might have noticed that I like doing things a little bit different. So this is me trying to make potato soup for the very first time without following a recipe and just winging it. So I used 6 potatoes, just cut them up into wedges, toss them into a bowl, add some oil, shake it around to get everything coated, add a little bit of salt, add a sprig of fresh rosemary, and throw that into a baking tray. Realize that you have some cauliflower in the fridge that might go off soon. Lightly coat with some oil and add them to the potatoes. Throw that into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 30 to 40 minutes. I personally like it when there's some color on the food. It just adds more depth to the flavor. And this next step can be done while the potatoes are still in the oven. Give one onion a rough chop. I'm only using one hand today because obviously I'm holding the camera with the other one. Please use both hands. Add a little bit of salt. Fry them until they are nice and soft. Take 1 clove of garlic, carefully decapitate it. Smash it with a knife to loosen the skin. Skin it, and then give it a rough chop and add them to the pan with the onions and let them cook for a little bit. And I happen to have a bottle of Robinson's white wine, which I'm just gonna add a little bit and then flambe that shit. Adding the wine will help to deglaze the pan, so it picks up all those little caramelized bits at the bottom of the pan. But it will also add some nice acidity to it. And then we'll make a very quick veggie stock. Feel free to use any stock that you prefer. I used 1 block of this stock. I just added it to the pan with 500 milliliters of water, stirred the block in so it dissolves, and brought it to a boil. And then I started adding the roast veg into a blender. Not everything at once, I did this in 2 batches. And then I added the stock to the blender and I tried to mess as much as I fucking could. Make sure to put on the lid. The stuff is going to be very hard. Pulse it a few times and then you let it go on full blast until everything is nice, smooth, and steamy. And then you can add the sauteed onion and garlic, and then optionally add a little bit of fat to this. I love using flavored oils, especially this truffle oil, and then transfer everything back to a pot and bring to a boil. I kept some of the potato and cauliflower to use as garnish and also to make the soup a bit more chunky. And once the soup is heated throughout, it's time to serve. So when I did the second batch of blending, I added another 750 milliliters of plain water. So altogether I had enough soup for 4 large servings. And this was another great opportunity to use some of this delicious and beautiful herb bread. And I'm sure if I had to boil the potato and cauliflower instead of roasting it, the soup's color would have been much lighter. So I'll try that next time. But anyway, if you enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in a comment below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!